Hello everyone and welcome back to the Russian DOTA2 League. We're going to have another best of 3 going on here today. The finals actually for the losers bracket. Team Liquid going up against No Tidehunter. Winner moves on. Loser is out of the tournament. That's going to have No Tider on the Radiant side with the first pick in this particular matchup, this particular
10
game.
seconds remaining.
And that leaves Team Liquid
5
to the
seconds
Dire.
remaining.
With the second pick, we're already seeing this first ban phase well underway here. With both Nyx Assassin and Lifestealer actually. Gonna be the bans coming out. From No Tidehunter, Liquid, on the other hand, choosing to ban out
Radiant team
the Lone Druid as well as the Chen. So some pretty surprising bans coming in here, but there are a lot of heroes left in the pool, like the Batrider, Keeper Light, that normally get banned out, as well as the Wisp actually, who I can't even remember the last time I saw a Wisp actually make it into a game. But it won't be very much longer that I'll have to remember, since it's gonna be this game. The Wisp is here, IO. Renamed back to IO. Classic name. Also recolored back to blue. But we are going to get to see that Guardian Wisp come out in this game, and I think I'm going to continue to call him Wisp, regardless of his name being IO now. It's kind of silly to change the name like that, I think, since most people have already acclimated to being called Wisp.
5 seconds
Whatever.
remaining.
Liquid now looking for their first 2 picks. They can take back Keeper Light if they want. We could have a very kind of high-powered game in terms of sort of the heroes that are most highly valued, banned very almost always at the beginning of the games. That made it through this particular one. Liquid though, spend some time. Not sure if they want to commit to going that route, picking up Batrider as well as Keeper Light. It does kind of make your team run in kind of a particular way. Batrider, you're kind of focusing on ganking, sort of in team fights. You want to pull people out, and of course, you're always going to get to a point where Batrider is going to be relevant. But Keeper Light, being a support hero, doesn't have a hard lockdown, which is kind of sometimes the sort of lineups that Team Liquid like to run. We saw them running a lot of Lion earlier in the day, and Lion, a very different hero from Keeper Light. They do very different things in lane, but they're just going to decide to go with it, spend some time talking like, yeah, let's go, we got it. They're giving us these heroes, let's see what they got. There's Chaos Knight now in the pool, No Tider can pick that up. See a lot of Wisp, Chaos Knight combos that come out, and some teams try and deal with that in different ways, but I don't know what they're going to do with it here, as heroes are pretty susceptible to ganks at the moment. No Tider are going to pick up Nature's Prophet for their second pick, and then end up going with Gyrocopter actually, so not committing to the Chaos Knight plan. Not going to bite on that particular bait. We'll see how that ends up working out for them if they just end up going again back for it later. Give a Gyrocopter maybe into the hands of S4, take to that mid lane, and give Loda something like the Chaos Knight to run. Or we'll see if No Tider go for the Stealth Assassin, Riki, pick that they do sometimes run with the IO. Has a similar effect to the Chaos Knight in that you can blink, you go on the other side of them, and suddenly they're getting stunned up, and we're going to see Liquid just go all into the hate mode and pick Phantom Lancer. Phantom Cancer, Lancer. Big boy himself gonna be on Liquid's lineup this game. No one gonna be happy to see that, I don't think. Seeing that Keeper Light Phantom Lancer team is just something no one really wants to play against, and I feel like most viewers don't really want to watch anymore, but Liquid, they want to win. It is certainly a potent combination. We'll see how it ends up working out for him if No Tidehunter can sort of pull something back here. Pull a strategy off to really beat this. We saw what their strategy against the Phantom Lancer was yesterday.
5 seconds.
I don't know how many of you were there, but they had a pretty surprising pick. Pretty surprising method. I heard they ran it in several games to much success. We'll see if they pull it out once again. Go with the Doombringer, Big Daddy Doombringer. Or if Liquid are onto that strategy and might even ban him out in this game. Storm Spirit going to come out as the first ban from No Tidehunter now. Followed immediately by Stealth Assassin going the way of Team Liquid. So they're on to No Tidehunter as liking that Stealth Assassin with the Guardian Wisp. It's a hero that I think they tend to favor when they go for it. We'll see if they just continue to ban out heroes that pair up well with IO. Maybe they're expecting, like I am, that Gyrocopter might head towards the mid lane, because he's not a particularly great hero to pair up with the Wisp. Doesn't really do a ton. I mean, you get that move speed from Tether, that's great and all. You can get the Rocket Barrage off, you stay close to them. But you're usually not going to be really running to the other side of them. You don't have an ability that really closes the gap very quickly, like Stealth Assassin, to some extent the Phantom Assassin as well. And you're also not particularly survivable early on in the game typically. With a hero like the Gyrocopter, the Tidehunter's spending quite a bit of time now thinking about what this second ban is gonna be, and they're not real sure, it looks like, what they want to go for. They see Liquid, they got the Fate Lancer and Keeper Light, obviously gonna be laning together. Rocking them in probably the safe lane, and likely to see another support coming to that lane. Batrider, I think Liquid typically give to Bulba. Maybe they're thinking that they're gonna be looking for a Korok hero, and that's why they ban out Storm Spirit. Going with Shadow Shaman now, I'm not sure how they think Liquid runs Shadow Shaman. Don't think I've seen them pick up that particular hero. Maybe it happens that I just missed this game, you know. Not out of the question by any means. But Shadow Shaman, definitely a hero that can go mid or support, so could have been a pickup for Liquid to go for. And would have really been able to sort of disguise necessarily how their lanes were going to be until they went for their last pick, which can be a beneficial thing in the draft. Get a little bit of an advantage that way. Night Stalker coming out as the ban from Team Liquid. So banning out a mid hero now. Trying to take away some of the hero that S4 likes to run. We see S4 play quite a bit of Night Stalker to pretty good success. I've seen him get in over his head, of course, as well with Night Stalker. Going a little too far, maybe throw it a little bit in true Loda fashion, Team Loda's fashion. Last ban coming out for No Tidehunter gonna be the Lion, actually. Lion, a hero that we saw Team Liquid run as a support quite a bit in the previous match. And I think both games they had Lion, they won, and the game they did have Lion, they lost. Might mean something. Might mean something, guys. Maybe No Tidehunter are on to them. And now Magnus coming out as the last ban from Team Liquid, so just going for S4 heroes with those last two. Just in case Gyrocopter does end up in the hands of Loda, and we're going to see Puck come out now from No Tidehunter. So it does look like we're going to be seeing Gyrocopter head the way of Loda, and that leaves us looking for probably another support hero, as Admiral Bulldog is who we're likely to see on that Nature's Prophet. Look, we got to figure out what they want to do about this. If they're going to pick up a support hero now, and try and make sure they get the one they want to pair up with the Keeper Light and the Phantom Lancer, since there's a fair chance that No Tidehunter will be picking up one of their own. Or if they want to go a completely different and just pick up their solo here. Whoever's going to end up on Korok in the mid lane, and they're just going to go Beastmaster. Now Beastmaster, definitely a hero that can end up in the off lane, especially on the Dire side, because you can stack those Ancients from the lane with your axes, as well as farming them up with the axes. I think Liquid are more likely here to run him in the mid lane and send Batrider to that off lane. Batrider can then abandon, depending on what that tri lane is, and just jungle until he gets some levels up and then start moving around. Shadow Demon coming out as the last pick from No Tidehunter. So gonna go with that guy as a support. We'll see what they end up doing with him. Definitely not the lineup I would have expected them to have with the Guardian Wisp. They have options to pick up really any carry they wanted to pair up with that Wisp. They did just go with Gyrocopter, a carry they like to run just as normal. It doesn't have any particularly great synergy with IO.
10 seconds remaining.
But going to be the pickup here nonetheless. And now Liquid looking for their final pickup, probably going for support of their own. Wouldn't be too surprised to see something like the Rubik here. Of course, they do like to run some little bit more odd supports on the Liquid lineup, so they could go for something crazy like the Visage. Wouldn't be, terribly surprised to see the Visage here actually, but I think Rubik is probably the pick. But they're gonna make sure they spend all of their time, wait till the absolute last second to figure out who this pick. Tidehunter. Calling him out. Here we go. No Tidehunter? No. Comma. Tidehunter. No Tidehunter. Comma. Tidehunter. Whatever. They're picking Tidehunter. So we're going to get to see Tide played here against Team Liquid, probably as a support in the tri-lane with how this lineup's looking. They could also send him off lane, just jungle the Bat Rider to start with, but I don't really think that Liquid are going to run that route. It's kind of risky. There's a good chance that Tide ends up with basically nothing. Especially running into this tri-lane. It's pretty aggressive. He's not really going to be able to stand against it. You could run him up against Nature's Prophet if you can predict where he is, but that forces you likely to have to run the aggressive dual lane effectively of Keeper Light and Phantom Lancer, which is not really the position you want to be in. It's probably just going to see him as a tri-lane support. And we're going to get to it. Players finally picking up their heroes. Turn free camera. Let's go over those players and the heroes now that we're in the game. Dire's side. We're going to have Team Liquid TC going to be on the Phantom Lancer. Fluff and Stuff taking up that Tidehunter. Korok on the Beastmaster. Bulba on that Bat Rider. IX Mike 88 finally on the Keeper of the Light. Once again, they have Stupid Chicken Courier. Meantime, on the rain side, we got no Tidehunter. EGM gonna be playing the Wisp. Loda on the Gyrocopter. As4 taking up the Puck. The Smuggling, the stand-in, as Aki is apparently missing in action. Gonna be playing the Shadow Demon. And finally, Admiral Bulldog on the Tree Man, Nature's Prophet.
30 seconds to battle.
So it does look like the lanes are working out as I would suspect early on. Keep your light placing a ward right here. Just trying to keep his mid lane safe. He knows they're going to be running a defensive lane with the Gyrocopter and the Wisp. This ward provides a little bit of vision on the rune as well as some vision in this region if they're trying to go for a gank from that side. Certainly one of the paths they could take. They could also go all the way around through, or like this region. I think it's a little bit more common, but usually those will end up being smoking, so the ward not going to do a ton anyways. And we're going to get to it. So mid lane, the only place really going to be contesting farm. Of course, both offlaners have abandoned at this point with Nature's Prophet taken to the Rain Jungle and Bat Rider to the Dire. Mid lane going to be S4 on the Puck going up against Korok on that Beastmaster. Not a matchup we see a ton. Korok playing Beastmaster. That Beastmaster is not a hero we see picked up maybe as much as we used to. I know a lot of the Asian teams still do really favor the hero just because of the team fight potential he really brings to the game as it goes on. But Korok having some trouble around, already taking a lot of harass, gonna have to run back and use those tangos up. S4 being a ranged hero is able to keep Korok zoned out pretty badly here. Of course he has no nuke until he hits level 2. So all these auto attacks aren't doing too much. Just for trying to be a little fancy getting these last hits. Has hit level 2, so he has that orb, and Korok has to be moderately concerned about that. If he takes too much harass,
don't mind me.
Probably will be his death. Gonna dodge that orb. As for popping these phase shifts all over the place, maybe trying to predict some dodges from those axes. So keep a close eye on mid lane. Look what everyone else is up to for a moment. We got some really long pulls going on here. On the Radiant side, they're pulling all the way to this big camp. Pulling all over the place. In the meantime, Lodo just farming away in the bottom lane. Going dead even at the moment. With TC up in this top lane and his Phantom Lancer. We'll see how long they let the Phantom Lancer farm. You always know how worrisome it is when a Fanlancer just sits and farms for 10, 15 minutes, relatively uncontested, and S4 running all the way behind the tower. No fear at all. Maybe should be a little bit afraid. There is a double damage Tidehunter behind him. Gonna get hit by those axes. Fluff has the gush. If he can spawn him out, gets it. That ward providing the vision necessary, and S4 in some trouble. That double damage Tidehunter gonna probably be his death. The Wisp comes in, salving up, keeping S4 alive. Gush not gonna have enough mana. And Fluff, even with these boots, isn't going to be able to keep up with the tether. So being saved there by EGM. Korok behind enemy lines now. Going to get hit by some spirits. Emerald Bulldog here as well. And the axe is going to get first blood. Going the way of Korok. Looks like he'll probably lose his life for this. Getting disrupted up now. As for dodging any sort of auto attack. Or axes. But Shadowdoom going to get the little bit of a revenge kill there. But first blood definitely worth it for Korok, even if it does end up on the support. I'm sure he would have preferred to have gotten it earlier. Killing off S4 on this puck. He's going to buy a salve and get sent to him now. Meantime, some pressure coming out in this top tier 1 tower. TC already cutting off this creep wave. Has some creeps here as well to help support him. But there are creeps tanking up the tower. Keeper light lane in some auto attacks. And they got a catapult wave coming. TC probably just going to set up camp here. It doesn't look like anyone from No Tidehunter is planning on rotating around. In fact, they're already in the bottom lane trying to do the same. Load up popping that flat cannon now. Needs to be careful not to take too much damage from the tower. And catapult going to get the tower kill in that top lane. Loda managing to get in the bottom on his gyrocopter. So a little bit more gold going the way of the carry for No Tidehunter, whereas it's split more amongst the team. For Team Liquid. Korok trying to head bottom to grab Rune. It's going to get sniped off there by IO on the Wisp. EGM on IO the Wisp. Also going to get a free kill on the bird. Free money. As for still no bottle up. Went for boots first actually. Gonna dodge some axes there. So you're thinking that's the route he wants to go, getting slowed up now by that boar. Pesky boars with their poison attacks. Keep him slow, also making him take a little bit more harass than he probably would like from the creep wave. Pushing past his tower. Looks like Fluff and Stuff has made his way down to the bottom lane, feeling pretty safe this far back. Well beyond the river with that first tower down, that he can sit down here and try and farm against Loda. Not going to have supports backstabbing him very easily. They have to pretty much go for a smoke ink and run all the way back here to even try and set anything up. It's not the easiest gank of all time, and he's already got some levels up, sitting at level 4, has a point and Kraken shell. They don't have a ton of disables to really hold him in place. Needs to be slightly more concerned if he's going to think about running past the river, and of course, just gives it up. No need to get that risky. S4 has his bottle now. I'm going to drop the Dream Coil on Korok. Korok not level 6 yet, and with the Nature's Prophet ult flying through. S4 missing a bunch of abilities, but going to eventually be able to get the kill on Korok.
You might wish to retract your last move.
So able to get a kill. 2-1 now. The kill score in favor of No Tidehunter. Both deaths thus far for the Liquid lineup have been on Korok on his Beastmaster. Just going to slow him down quite a bit on being relevant. Fluff and Stuff being zoned out of this lane now by a homing missile. In the meantime, Fanlancer still left completely alone up in this top lane. He's sitting at 44 last hits to Lotus 38. However, there are several heroes getting many last hits. On the Radiant side, we have Emerald Bulldog in the jungle. Of course, this is a little bit inflated, but he does have that Midas up pretty quickly, actually. Sitting at about 6.5 minutes in. Much faster than we normally are seeing Nature's Prophets and get these Midases, but they do from time to time hang out in the lane for a while and just try and be a nuisance for the early levels before heading to the jungle. As we're going to continue dodging wild axes in the mid lane. Giving the old troll a lull to Korok on this Beastmaster. And it looks like someone did get the rune. Let's see who it was. Oh, Invis rune, bottled by S4 on this puck. Probably not going to be able to do too much with it. Might try and roam and gank somewhere. But not a lot of places particularly vulnerable to gank at the moment. You can try and spot out fluff and stuff in this bottom lane, the Tidehunter. It's a pretty good gank to get. He isn't level 6 yet, and slowing that down always a good thing to try and do. Because once Tidehunter is level 6, you have to be very careful about where you're trying to engage. It looks like he's going for an urn, still about 300 gold away. Not super far off, but considering how cheap urn is, not super close either. Smugly trying to go for a disruption. They're not going to be able to land it. The ult from Nature's Prophet flying through as well. Not sure if he's just using that to farm or what, but fluff and stuff going to be forced back. Took some damage. Maybe that was what it was for and I was missing it. TC continuing to farm the top lane. Looks like he bought something. His Tranquil Boots. Must be on the courier. Yasha. He's got a Yasha done already. As well as his Magic Wand. So it's going to be coming his way. Yeah, it looks like he's going to send it to himself. So Korok going to be without his bottle for a minute or so. Looks him a little bit more vulnerable. It looks like he's going to find a regen rune up in this top. Oh, he gets his bottle first. Alright. Cluckle's in the region. Brings him his bottle so he can just bottle the regen rune. Refill it, doesn't have to bother crowing. Meantime, Fluff and stuff has made his way back to this bottom lane, the Tidehunter. Ever closer to level 6.
Middle tower is under attack.
And eventually he's going to be able to get it. We'll see what kind of fights they try and force with the Ravage. Because that's the kind of ability you want to be using pretty much as often as you can, trying to turn the tide of the game with it. Emerald Bulldog picking up treads now on his Nature's Prophet in this jungle. It looks like a smoke game coming out from Liquid. With both Korok and IX Mike trying to spot anyone out in this top lane. Smugly was kind of in the region, but has already returned towards the mid lane on this Shadow Demon. Now IX Mike heading towards the mid lane. Gonna get revealed, drops a ward. So gonna see the S4 and Smugly are rotating up here. Let's see what's they're gonna respond about it. Looks like TC is hanging out for the moment. Korok hiding in trees, maybe hoping someone will initiate, particularly S4. Getting a high value kill here on the puck. Would be pretty good for them, as well as defending their carry. Creating some space.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Not much reason to suspect Korok is in there.
Yours.
S4 needs to be careful. Korok getting in position, and the supports are coming in. Fluff and stuff smoked in, running in as well. He's level 6. There's the roar as well as the gush. Disruption going to keep him alive for a moment. Illuminate not going to hit. Phase shifts out, able to orb away. So that disruption buying just enough time. It's keeping S4 alive. Disruption, a pretty good ability against Beastmaster, it turns out. Whenever he lands that roar on a hero, you can just disrupt him. Negate most of that duration. Try and keep your allies alive. Both mid towers taking a little bit of harass from each other, just from creep equilibrium. Meantime, Lord trying to pressure this tier 2 in the bottom lane. Bulba is there, however. Level 8 on his Bat Rider, as well as Blink Dagger picked up. Didn't check him out too much in the jungle. It's pretty straightforward, Bat Rider jungle. Burning through creeps, getting that farm. And we'll bullet anything else up. Yeah, he's got a Claymore, so we will be seeing a Shadow Blade coming out from him. Still, 1,500 gold away, so it's going to be a little while. Once he has that, he can start trying to split push pretty effectively. Looks like a homing missile coming out on Bulba from Loda in this bottom lane. In the meantime, Fluff and stuff has made his way back down. This Tidehunter doesn't look like he's really doing a ton. They might want to try and set up a gank. Wisp going with the gank in the jungle. Gonna spot out IX Mike. The orbs are seeing him. But it looks like he's gonna be able to get out safe. It's a pretty aggressive gank coming out there. And now, Bat Rider trying to get position. Loda gonna get caught by the Flaming Lasso. Tidehunter coming in as well. There's the Ravage. Call down being used. They're both gonna be able to evade it. And Fluff and stuff taking a lot of damage. Gonna go down the Rocket Barrage. Admiral Bulldog able to finish off the Bat Rider as well. IX Mike here trying to do whatever damage he can. Trying to help Loda. The Illuminate gun flying through. Only catches an EGM Spirit Lance from TC. Will seal the deal. But Caber Light already down. Now TC getting in a fight with Admiral Bulldog. Should be able to win this fight as well. Here comes the Spirit Lance. Admiral Bulldog low on HP. Trying to buy that TP scroll to get out. Wisp gonna tether him up. Keeps him alive. And there's no more mana in TC to follow through. So going to be a 3-for-1
Dire's
trade,
middle
all
tower
things
is under
considered,
attack.
in favor of no Tidehunter, but they lose their carry, while Fanlands are able to get a kill. So still not really the trades you're going to want to be making if you're no Tidehunter. Definitely don't want to be losing that gyrocopter this early in the game. Now we'll take a quick look at experience and goal graphs. Looks like we have a second S4 rotating to the mid lane. Not going to really be doing too much. See, no Tidehunter current leading in gold by about 4k. Experience looking about the same. So they have a little bit of a lead accumulated here. 12 minutes into the game. Not the biggest by any means. But these kinds of leads, they do build up. Unfortunately, Phantom Lancer at the moment has quite a bit of farm. Not as much as Emerald Bulldog, though, who has his Shadow Blade done. He's farming particularly well this game. Had his Midas very early. He's been actually using his ult to farm. Not how we normally see Nature's Prophets go. But maybe if there weren't a lot of ganks coming on, just ready to go for it. Try and get some farm on him, even if it meant taking it away from the rest of his team, and realistically, a lot of it was coming from this top lane, where the rest of his team wasn't at. Some Puck went in on Keeper Light, actually used Dream Coil for it. Has a haste rune, so he's able to get that kill on the Keeper Light, but committed a Dream Coil cooldown. Looks like they're going to Korok. The Wisp gonna port. Gyrocopter in. Korok trying to run away as far as he can, as fast as he can. Probably gonna get caught here. It's a silence off. Emerald Bulldog chasing in now. And that homing missile gonna land. S4 able to get the last hit. TC still up here.
Here I am.
Right, looks like he's thinking about going on Emerald Bulldog. Nope, just gonna finish farming in the jungle. No big deal from him. Going for that Diffusal Blade recipe now. So he's sitting about 800 gold away from that. Should have it in the near future, next couple minutes. We'll see what they want to do with it. If he's just getting it to have it in case he needs to be relevant, and probably go back to farming. That's what I would expect, considering he's a Phantom Lancer. But 8-2 is the kill score. Liquid have to be somewhat concerned about that. With heroes like Loda on this gyrocopter already farming, he's going for the Sanj. So we're going to see that race car Loda build that he's ran at least once in the past on the gyrocopter. Last time I watched him play gyrocopter, actually. Went for this very odd build. Started off with the Ogre Club, and I figured he'd go BKB, and then ended up going Sanj. Confusing the crap out of me. Just trying to troll these casters. Smoke gang coming out from Liquid. Following it around. Looks like Bulba going to be the one to probably initiate here. They're going in the mid lane. All they're going to find, it looks like, is Shadow Demon. He's done. Caught with the Flaming Lasso. Might get the disruption on himself. Probably going to be his death regardless. Taking a lot of damage. Korok going to get the last hit. However, Korok stunned up. Gets the roar off on Loda. Shadow Demon going to finish him off in the meantime. Nature's Prophet's been able to take out Bat Rider, Fluff and stuff. Stuck in some trees. And Io, Guardian Wisp going to be able to get that last hit. So another 3-for-1 trade. All they get is the support this time. In the meantime, they do lose the Bat Rider and the Beastmaster. Just feeling real squishy when they're running into these fights. Dust of Appearance actually picked up now. Nature's Prophet, so it looks like he might be planning on going for some sort of gank on TC. Maybe they were waiting for the Wisp teleport to organize that. He does have the Diffusal Blade up now. But had to use it to kind of counter gank in that mid lane, and the Wisp pickup working out pretty well for them, pulling Loda around. He's got Sanj and a Yasha recipe, so he's going for Sanj and Yasha. Still pretty far off of it. Kind of surprised to see him pick up the recipes first. Should be able to get the kill on this tower, and does last hit it. This is another tower going the way of no Tidehunter, and another tower last hit going the way of Loda on this gyrocopter. Meanwhile, Team Liquid trying to make something happen somewhere on the map right now. TC the only one really getting any sort of semblance of farm, and he's not doing as well as this Nature's Prophet.
Regeneration!
Bulba's still just sitting on basic Blink Dagger. Not even anything picked up on Beastmaster beyond Arcane Boots. Haven't really been able to get a next tier of items up, and 17 minutes in, kind of expect them to be making some sort of progress towards something. Whereas heroes like Admiral Bulldog, he's got Shadow Blade's even got an ultimate orb picked up now. Loda
Radiant's
getting
middle
ever
tower
closer
is
to having
under
that
attack.
Sanjin Yasha.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Put the recipes on the courier just to take up space. You never know when you're going to need to get those recipes sent to you very quickly, I guess. Wisp has an urn. Let's fill some dust and smoke. Looks like they're going for this tier 2 tower in the bottom lane. They're going to be able to take it pretty easily. Loda not getting that last hit, but the only one down here is Bulba on this Bat Rider. He's not really in a position to go for it. In the meantime, the other two heroes, the ones that can't port around the map right now, are up in this top lane. It looks like there might be a little bit of posturing going on here for a gank on TC. With both Nature's Prophet as well as Io. On the other sides of the map, they can move in very quickly and try and set something up here. He's at 1700 gold, kind of expecting to see him go for that Yasha next. So probably picking up an ultimate orb. Smugly going to drop a ward there in lane. See behind the tower. And it looks like EGM making sure he stays real close to Loda. Wants to be there so he can tether and port immediately upon the necessity arising. Homing missile going to fly out on Bulba. Just going to harass him a little bit. And of course, if he ever gets a little bit out of position when one of those starts flying at him and it hits, he could be in a lot of trouble. Loda's starting to deal damage to his tier 3 tower, and this chip damage, it doesn't regen. It's not coming back. Well, they're going to kill off the creep wave as well. Just through that incidental damage from Flat Cannon. Anytime S4 getting in a fight with illusions, as well as a creep wave. Had that phase shift on cooldown. TC knew it. Looked like he was getting in range. Trying to go for a Spirit Lance, but not going to quite get it. Buys that ultimate orb up now. And anytime TC is not getting farm here, S4 as well as Smoke able to put enough pressure on him that he's forced to constantly last under this tower. In the meantime, though, Loda sitting in the bottom lane, getting basic free farm. Nature's Prophet sitting in this bottom lane on Nature's Prophet in the jungle. Did I say Nature's Prophet? Admiral Bulldog on the Nature's Prophet. Just farming away. TC getting some mana back. So keep throwing out the Spirit Lances, so he's trying to use the illusions to farm up this creep wave as best as possible. It looks like Loda rotating towards the mid lane now with the Wisp. Probably going to start pressuring that tier 2 tower. He's done as much damage as he cares to the tier 3, I guess. Nature's Prophet farming the Ancients now. Oh, big old stack of Ancients here. Actually just going to pull them one last time. And it looks like he's going to get it. Oh, no, this one creep got stuck too long. Trying to get one more stack in there for Loda. Going to be invisible here on the gyrocopter. There is a Sentry Ward drop there, which they should know about, as they dropped a lane ward here. And it did get spotted out. Loda now going to get tethered too. The Dream Coil drops on Bulba. That's going to be his death to start off this fight. Fluff and Stuff still hasn't been able to drop the Ravage. The Roar comes off in the back of the fight. And the Ravage comes off. Only hits on a couple. Not really doing too much. Shadow Demon ultimate popping. But Shadow Demon has already died. Bat Rider buying back. Going to get the lasso on Loda. And a lot of kills taking place here. Keeper Light going to go down. Loda's still alive. Chasing after TC. Dust going to be popped. Trying to help him. S4 taking a lot of damage. Getting hit by the Flame Break. Going to phase out and survives long enough. Bat Rider getting the last hit, but not before the Fan Lancer dies. That's going to be a 4 for 2, 5 for 2 trade actually, considering Bat Rider bought back and died again. In favor of no Tidehunter, and now they're going for this tier 1 tower. And a big old sloppy fight, but no Tidehunter. With the advances in gold, they have just a higher tier of items. We got the Sanjin Yasha out on Gyrocopter, an item that, you know, Loda really favors. It makes him quite quick. Moves around very fast in these fights, able to dodge spells, dodge auto attacks, and catch up with people. Keep that rocket barrage on them as much as possible. And Admiral Bulldog just hitting really hard with that Shadow Blade crit. Meantime, the tier 2 tower is going to just go down. Nature's Prophet getting that last hit. Wisp keeping those spirits out. Wants to know if anyone's approaching, but that's going to be 2 towers going the way, and Scythe of Vice completed 21 minutes in on Admiral Bulldog. Kind of a big deal. Kind of a big deal. Going to try and grab another stack here on these Ancients. It looks like he will be successful this time. Not really. Nope. This dragon getting blocked. It's hard to get him on the, particularly on the Radiant side. Once it gets to a certain point, just it's hard to get him around the corners, and you can't just pull straight out like you can in the Dire. But they are going to be able to kill him off. And everyone going to rotate around. 4K gold picked up here on S4. Probably going to see him go for a Scythe of Eyes of his own. And the more of those you have on the team, definitely the better. He's going to find a haste rune in the lower river. Bottle that up, which is going to make him pretty resilient in this next engagement. And it looks like no Tidehunter ready to already go in. In the mid lane, the only one not there is Admiral Bulldog. They have a lead. We take a quick look at experience in gold again, just see how big it's become. 13k the XP lead, over 15k the gold. It's kind of a big deal. And Loda now going to start laying in to this tier 2 tower. Firing off the little gyrocopter bullets. Meantime, TC trying to go for a little bit of split push here in the bottom lane. Has a massive amount of illusions, but he's going to have to port back, it looks like, going all the way back to base.
Radiant's top tower is
Summons his mana style illusions, however, as well. Gets his second level of Diffusal Blade. And it looks like a gank coming out. Nope, there's no one there. That's Nature's Prophet porting in. Why is he... Okay. I'm not sure why Admiral Bulldog is like fake porting out on S4. Fluff and Stuff just hiding in the trees here near the side shop. I think he was hoping someone else would be able to show up and they could get a gank off on Admiral Bulldog. Didn't really have too much success with that, it looks like, but there are quite a few heroes coming down here now from Team Liquid, as well as a massive amount of Phantom Lancer illusions. This tier 1 tower in the bottom lane probably going to go down very quickly. It's at full health, completely full health. Ult's going to come off on Admiral Bulldog, already taking a lot of damage from that barrier. Sentry Ward dropped as well. He's going down. It looks like Ravage going to fly through, but the call down doing a lot of damage. Admiral Bulldog with that ult gets a triple kill. Loda finishing off Phantom Lancer. They kill off Admiral Bulldog, but at what cost? They lose 4 heroes. And now Loda back in the mid lane, pulled back. With the Wisp ultimate ending, and he's going to start pressuring this tier 3 bottom. IX Mike in some trouble. You gotta remember, this guy is super fast, chasing after him. Just going to give it up. No need to dive past some tier 4s when you can just take this tier 3. Loda taking a lot of damage from that Illuminate. Apparently had no fear whatsoever. Respawn's going to start coming up. Tidehunter first, of course, no Ravage, and he's sitting at level 9, so not going to be doing a ton to stop this. And it looks like this game is pretty quickly coming out of the reach of Team Liquid. Melee racks and range racks in the mid lane going down. Smoke going to be used by no Tidehunter on the retreat. Just to get as much move speed as possible. In case Liquid get any funny ideas and want to chase in, but they're going to go for Roshan, it looks like. Here it comes. Get there as fast as possible. Already going for a gem picked up on Wisp. Needs to get that courier to him. Mostly going to be for de-warding purposes. But going to be sad to see that there aren't a lot of wards going on. We can pop those fog charts very quickly. You see Sentry, or all these wards on the rain side. Tons of aggressive warding going on. And Liquid's map just looking blind, basically, by comparison. This is the only ward they have going all the way up here. And it's not really relevant anymore. Anytime they're going for a gank, looks like Fluff and Stuff going to go down. Wisp getting that last hit with some spirits. And looking to rotate towards the top lane, I believe, now. Korok needs to get away, going to blink out. With that Blink Dagger pickup, useful for keeping alive, but not going to be the best because they can't really initiate. They're pretty far on the back foot at this point. IX Mike channeling those Illuminates through, trying to stop this push as long as possible. As well as tossing out a Blinding Light now. Loda continue to kill off this creep wave on this gyrocopter. Another Illuminate going to fly through. He doesn't even attempt to really dodge it till the last second again. Batrider going to get his ult off on Smoke Leg, but not a very high priority target. Call down going to be used. Lands on Bull. The Ravage comes through, hits on Loda and Wisp, I believe. Loda taking a lot of damage. Looks like he might go down. Problem with that is he has Aegis, so popping him off not the most valuable. He's just going to spawn back up, full health, full mana. Meantime, TC going for a kill on him. Going to get that Diffusal Blade charge off. Loda taking a lot of damage. Creeper Light going to get picked off by Emerald Bulldog. He hits way too hard. Loda's still alive, trying to chase after anyone he can get. TC now chasing after him. Korak going to blink forward, summon the boar, trying to slow everyone down. And Loda going to get ported out. Chucking that flat cannon to deal as much damage as possible. S4 trying to find anyone who's continuing to chase, but not going to be anyone, so he's just going to farm the woods and finds the hero he doesn't, or the creeps he really doesn't want to run into. Mud Golems. With all their magic immunity. It looks like he went for a Shiva's Guard instead of that Scythe of Eyes this game. Just deciding to pick the more AoE magic damage up rather than another Hex. You can just let Nature's Prophet worry about that sort of thing. He has a Crystalist picked up now. Loda has decided to go for that Ethereal Blade once again. I still don't understand why Ethereal Blade is his pickup of choice on this Gyrocopter. It gives a ton of agility, that's certainly true. And I mean, the Ether Blast is good and all, but he doesn't particularly do a large amount of magic damage, especially since he typically doesn't actually level up his magic nukes. But he keeps winning with it, so he must know something. Must know something I don't. That's why he's the pro. Meantime, Gem is finally picked up here by EGM. Ghost Scepter. On the Shadow Demon, gonna keep him alive for a pretty long time in these fights.
Behold!
S4 clearing off all of these illusions with the Shivas, as well as Illusory Orb. Once again, up 2,100 gold. A bunch of wards being placed now by Team Liquid in their own jungle. These wards are pretty defensive. They're going to get at least a kill on this one using Spirits to drop. Sentry Ward seems a little unnecessary, smugly considering that you have a gem and you just killed the ward that was up there. But you should do whatever floats your boat. Loda going on this tier 3 already. And it looks like it's going to go down. The ult going to come off from Batrider this time. On the Wisp, Fluff and Stuff gets his ult off, but everyone's still alive from No Timer, and the support's already picked off. They're already going in. Loda gets roared up. He's got that BKB. Dealing a lot of damage, staying alive. Smugly going to get picked off by TC finally. S4 pretty low in HP, but Loda getting that overcharge from Wisp. Starting to hit these towers, or barracks rather. S4 going to get in with TC. Not necessarily where he wants to be, but TC going to go down. Does he have buyback? No buyback on the Phantom Lancer. That's probably going to be game, and they're going to call it Liquid. Throwing out them GGs as the top set of racks fall down. Loda. Ethereal Blade, it's too big to fail, man. Too big to fail. But no, Tidehunter are going to take this game 1 in the loser bracket finals for the Russian DOTA2 League. Once again, my name is Knaz. I've been casting these Russian DOTA2 League games for you. And we'll give it a second for all the players to disconnect or the Angel to fall so you guys can take a quick peek at that scoreboard that I know so many of you love. And then we'll get back to it. Take a quick short break. And then head into game 2 as soon as the players are ready. Just gotta do some bad-natured fountain farming. Loda, if only you had a butterfly instead of Ethereal Blade, you could tank the fountain. Ancient going down though. And finally Bulba decides to disconnect. So, no Tidehunter do take it. We're gonna head into game 2 now. And I will be back momentarily while we wait for that second game to get going. Thanks for coming, and feel free to stick around.